I was always creeped out by this film's poster. Now I finally got a chance to see it, and, well... Screams of a Winter Night. That is a fucking awesome title for a horror movie. The plot. A group of, I want to say, 8 to 10 friends are spending the night or weekend at a cabin, and they huddle around a roaring fire and tell spooky stories, which we get to see. And, it's spooky. So it's like a vintage anthology, but a campfire tale at the same time. I can get behind that. But before we get into it, make sure to comment on, like, and share this video, as well as hit the notification bell to be updated every time I make a new video. Like my Facebook fan page and support me on Patreon. Even $1 a month will go a long way. The links to those two sites will be in the description below, and as always, subscribe. Alright, let's get into this. Every time someone tells me that they're not afraid of horror movies anymore because nothing is scary, or they don't know how to execute a good scary scene, I show them the opening credits of this film. It's just dialogue and howling. I'll try to explain. There's a family of, I believe, 5 or 6 people. They're sitting inside. They hear a howl, a massive howl, way too big to be a wolf or a coyote. So the father, the son, and I believe the grandfather go outside to investigate, and the horses are going crazy, and they start shooting at something. They keep shooting, and it keeps howling. Then all is silent. You think, oh, so they killed it. No. The howling begins again. Now all the women are left inside the cabin, and it's getting closer. The howling, that is. And it's getting closer and closer. And anyways, the opening credits, you don't see anything, like I said. It's just really, really creepy. After the opening credits, though, nothing is quite as terrifying. Each story has its own level of creepy. The order I would go in would be from least to greatest. The Shy Killer, which is the 4th. Number 3 would be The Haunted Hotel. Number 2 would be The Moss Man. And number 1 would be The Witch's Graveyard. I made up those titles for this review. The first one to be told is The Moss Man, a sort of Bigfoot tale. It's quite creepy, and ends on kind of an urban legend sort of way. Like, you know, when the girlfriend's in the car and the boyfriend's feet are scraping across the roof. But what is especially creepy about this short is that the Moss Man doesn't roar. Like, roar. It just has this wicked, witch-like cackle. And it's also a dwarf of sorts. So it's pretty creepy because this dwarf, you don't see this. I love that this film plays on your imagination so much. It lifts the guy above the car while the girl's still sleeping and hangs him there. It's a short little creature, so it must have a lot of strength. It ends with them finding the girlfriend the next day, and she has little bite marks all over her. It was like, ew. The second one is The Haunted Hotel. This has a good spooky vibe, and it is simply highly effective. It plays on that notion of not wanting to be left alone somewhere scary. Trust me, I've been in that situation tons of times. Like if we're outside camping in the night, and someone, when I was little, I should say, and someone has to go to the bathroom. Oh wait, I got a better story for you. I'll have my own little campfire tale here. I don't have a lighter, so no fire. But we were camping actually last summer, and something scary happened. I was sitting at the end of my bed on my computer, my blow-up mattress. We were in a tent, and there was a campsite next to us. And I heard, like someone was running up to the tent. I was like, what the f***? So I took off my other headphone, because I only had one in. And It's just kind of hard to tell. When I took it off, it went, stopped, and then it started walking really slowly up to the tent. And I was like, okay, who the hell is that? And they were like, and then they took off running in the other direction, not the direction of the campsite next to us. And on the other direction, there was no campsite. And so I said, guys, wake up, because we were all in the same tent because we didn't have the other one set up yet. And we all got up. We went outside, and there were footprints, like boots, all around our tent. Whew, that was scary. Anyways, back to the movie. The fear of being left alone is really prevalent in the haunted hotel segment. And, yeah. Trying to shake that off, because that was probably one of the most startling moments of my life. Anyways, the fear of being left alone is something that's very haunting. You either have to rise to the occasion or cower in the corner. And, unfortunately for the characters in this short, they don't have that choice. Because there's ghosts in the hotel. You can't fight back against a ghost. The third one is The Witch's Graveyard. This one was thought to be lost forever. It's been reintegrated into this Blu-ray from Code Red, and I'm so happy it's here. It's so cheap and stupid, yet that is why it works. With the boasted atmosphere and the brutal ending, it makes it all the more satisfying. Even if the witches flying around are on strings, I have a right to be scared of whatever I want to be scared of. Don't judge me! The fourth one is The Shy Killer. It's a story about that girl next door. That's anybody that can turn into something hideous, or something you would never expect them to be, which is insane. She kills a man who tries to rape her, and then goes on with her life. She ends up with a massive rod up her ass when she's at college, and another murder will occur. It's a good story and plays on that thought of not knowing who could snap or when. I love that after the stories are done, we return to the group sitting around the campfire, and they explain an aftermath of what became of the victims. It helps us feel really bad and afraid for them. I found it funny that some of the same actors and actresses that sat around to that campfire were in the shorts, so it's cheap but welcome. The gore, this movie may play on your imagination like a but that doesn't mean it's necessarily bloodless. I will not spoil anything, however, don't be expecting a bloodbath. And this is PG, so back then you could do a lot. I mean, The Witch's Graveyard and The Shy Killer are the bloodiest, but there is one part in The Witch's Graveyard segment that took me by surprise. The motion picture soundtrack. I remember the music adding a little bit to the movie, but it really isn't all that memorable. The sound effects are what really sell. The Ooga Boogas are a dime a dozen, but for some reason they just work here. This movie lives up to the praise. It is terrifying, haunting, and chilling. Sometimes all at once. And if this one doesn't creep you out, then I don't know what 70s movie will. There could have been a bit more gore and a stronger musical score. I am just glad I've got this limited edition Blu-ray release from Code Red. I have an old bootleg somewhere where I couldn't see for about 25% of the film. Plus it's missing the Witch's Graveyard scene. This is a cult film for sure, and I can see it scaring the pants off of kids in the 70s and 80s. Not so much today. However, for me, I take 70s films way too seriously. Overall, I give Screams of a Winter Night a 3 out of 5. Make sure to comment on, like, and share this video, as well as hit the notification bell to be updated every time I make a new video. Like my Facebook fan page and support me on Patreon. Even $1 a month will go a long way. The links to those two sites will be in the description below, and as always, subscribe.